Hey, welcome back, everybody.
Welcome back to Stop the Insanity. Been a little while.
Yeah, we took a break. We're on sick leave.
Yeah, the son of a bitch give me that cough.
Well, I didn't intentionally give you shit. I'll just say that.
Yeah, well, I got it.
Well, you feel better now?
Yeah, I'm not all the way back, but I'm close.
I'm as close as I'm going to get, so we might as well do this.
Yeah, that's what I said. Might as well. Anything been going on in hell? I think it's been 3 weeks, hasn't it?
It's been a long time. I'm not sure. I didn't keep up with it, but yeah, it seems like it's been about a month since we done one.
I think it's been 3 weeks.
Yeah,
today, actually. 3 weeks today.
I feel bad about it. I feel like we haven't been on the ball the way we should have been.
I agree, but shit happens.
Shit does happen. Anyway, the good news about it being 3 weeks is a lot of shit's happened in 3 weeks.
A lot of shit's happened.
Yeah, a lot of crazy shit has been going on. I want to say, and I didn't go back and listen, but I want to say one of us said, and I think it was in episode 3, that Jeffrey Epstein was going to hang himself in prison. I think that was an actual quote of this show, but I might be wrong. We might have just said that talking to each other.
Well, good podcaster producer would go back, find that, and plug it in somewhere right here.
Yeah, that's what you should be doing. But either way, it doesn't matter. I mean, everybody knew that it was going to happen. You know, it's not like we're prophetic or anything. It was bound to happen. My whole question with it is, did it happen? I don't know. I don't know that he's dead.
Oh, you think he used his money and disappeared?
Yeah, I mean, no, I'm not going to say that he did, but I'm not going to rule it out as a possibility. I think it's very possible. I mean, a lot of shady shit went down around that. Like, first off, the guy has enough money where he can do whatever he wants to do. So he has the pull to do it.
That's what shocked me that it ever came about.
Yeah, well, I can't believe he was ever in there in the first place.
Somebody had to have sacrificed him for something.
Once he got in there, I mean, think about the series of events that had to happen for him to either kill himself, be killed, or leave the prison, whatever happened.
They showed a picture of him in the hospital where he was blue.
Like the dead body?
Yeah, it was like through 2 windows, and you could see him laying there. So, I mean, it could have been easily fake.
Yeah. I mean, was the first thing they do is burn him up.
Oh, yeah, you got to cremate him.
Yeah. So that's out.
Like they did with Osama bin Laden, dumped him in the ocean. Oh, shit.
Yeah, you'll never know now because that's the first thing they do. They immediately have to incinerate the evidence. But they claim he killed himself. The cameras happened to go off that day.
Man, that's coincidental.
What a coincidence. And they happened to bring in 2 new guards.
They were mighty sleepy. Guards.
Sleepy-ass guards they brought in. And I'll tell you why they brought those guards in. That's one of the most obvious things to me was, so the guards that normally work there, they can't just pay those guys off. Number one,
they got to come back.
Yeah, number one, they're probably fucking idiots. Yeah. Number 2, somebody's going to see the money. I mean, they're going to go out and buy a new car, like an idiot.
So the guards that they brought in were probably CIA assets or some shit.
They were like covert ops guys. It's the same guys they bring in, like, say the right-wing conservatives are protesting something to do with the government or something they don't like, anything they don't like. What they'll do is they'll get their operatives to come in and start breaking shit and fighting and all so they can come in and shut the whole thing down. They obviously made sure it was 2 of their guys that could be paid under the table, that could keep quiet. You know, they're in and out. Probably, I haven't heard their names yet.
They haven't released their names that I know of.
I don't think they probably won't.
No.
Because, I mean, even if they do, it'll be some Trump, made up bullshit. It won't be the actual, I don't think it'll be the actual guy. They had him on suicide watch. They took that shit off.
The same day. And then, the cameras malfunctioned. Then they took the normal guards out, brought new guards in. It was all obviously a setup. Like I say, I don't know that he even died. I think they could have brought them in just to get him out of there. Escape attempt.
Yeah, just to get him out.
Right. I've seen it on the movie where they faked a death to get out of prison.
Yeah. And, while he was in jail, he still got women coming to see him and shit. Young women are coming in there.
That's what a lawyer claimed that he saw. He was paying his lawyer just to go hang out in the lawyer visitation room.
Yeah, like 8
hours a day.
8 hours a day, just go hang out in that room and
smoke cigarettes or whatever the fuck.
Yeah, whatever the crazy shit was. Can you imagine what went on in there? Anyway, so the whole Epstein thing. And the sad part about it is, it wasn't just him. He just facilitated this shit.
Yeah, he was the handler for the girls.
But I think this story will just fade. I don't think you'll hear
it. Has. I mean, they talked and talked and talked about the conspiracy, and now it's just gone.
As far as putting anybody else in jail over the shit, I don't see it happening. I don't think it's gonna happen.
I don't think so.
I don't think they're gonna chase down the Trumps. They're trying to do that.
Yeah. If there was a Trump connection, you better believe they'd have.
They were digging for that shit. But the Clintons, I don't think they're gonna do anything about that. Obviously the Prince is not gonna.
He's disappeared off the face of the public view or whatever. He went and hung out with the Queen.
It's sad, man, but nothing's going to happen to these people. It's still going on. I think what they need to do is look at everybody that was on that list, like Bill Clinton, people like that,
Prince Edward,
and then start looking for their private properties and shady ass buildings on those properties.
Like his island?
Yeah. See if Bill's
it's not going to be a shady place. They're going to have a mansion somewhere.
Yeah, I'm just saying it'll be off the radar.
Right.
It wouldn't surprise me a bit if Bill had one of these islands.
Out in Colorado somewhere or something.
Yeah, something on top of a mountain somewhere that we have no idea about. They need to keep digging, and I don't think they're going to.
They won't. But I can't believe nobody in the media does. Because you would think property records are public records. So they could, in essence, find, but I guess they could hide it in a shell company or...
Yeah, it's so easy to hide all that shit for them. I mean, offshore bank accounts. And, you think about it, who do you buy that damn island from? When it comes down to it, if you want to buy that island, who do you pay for that?
I saw it on HGTV, buying an island.
Yeah, you could buy part of Belize or some shit had some islands you could buy at one time.
Yeah.
Not this kind of shit he's talking about. But anyway, that's about all I want to say about that. Because I heard
the whole time that he was a billionaire, multi-billionaire, billionaire. I just kept hearing that over and over and over. But then they said his will he wrote was for like $570 million. So where's the rest of it?
The rest of it is in people's pockets.
Or in his pocket where he disappeared.
Or that, if he's still alive, which,
Because if he was a billionaire, just $1 billion, that's only half of it in a will to his brother.
I think he gave $557 million to his brother.
Yeah.
And that was supposedly his whole estate.
Yeah, but I don't understand. Because I'd heard the whole time through the whole story that he was a billionaire.
Yeah, multi-billionaire. There's money somewhere. Money that's somebody's sticking in their pockets. Assets or properties or something. I don't know where it went. You probably won't ever know where that shit went. But it's sad, man. It's ridiculous how much... Once Brian brought that shit to my attention, it's ridiculous how much of that shit really goes on.
I'm not going to go as far as Brian took it, but yeah, it does go on. And it's sad.
To a crazy extent that you wouldn't think would happen. If somebody
6 months ago, I wouldn't think billionaires were trafficking children to crazy parties. And
I wouldn't have believed that kind
princes
of shit.
And
that's some shit like a movie.
Right, yeah.
But it's
really
not
even
happening.
A movie.
It's really pitiful.
And nothing happens.
Nothing's going to
happen. Even when
happen.
it comes to light, they just sort of have 2 shootings and it goes away.
Yeah, all it'll take, they'll just do a little diversion over here and it'll be over. People will still talk about it, but nobody's going to go to jail for it or anything. I don't think anything will come of it.
And nobody will do anything. People like us will bitch about it, but nobody will actually... But what the fuck can you do?
Yeah, I don't know that I could... I'll tell you this. I've often thought about this. There's one thing I can do about it.
Don't do like Pops now.
I'm just saying, like, if I found out I was dying of cancer or something, I don't think I'm just going to ease on out of here. I think with the risk, at the risk of saying too much on here, if I was dying and, fuck
We're all dying.
At that point, yeah, but if I know, look, 3 months, you're not going to be here, then I might can do something about this pedophilia shit.
A dent? You can put a dent?
I might pack a bag and just sail the world,
Yeah.
I don't really want
to. It's a good thought.
I think I would do it. I've thought about it enough where I think I would at least have some conversations with some people.
Sorry, there's a damn call.
Yep, poor old call. I don't know. Probably shouldn't talk about that on here. Let's talk about other things that
it's fictional.
That are going on in the news. Yeah, allegedly.
Yeah,
allegedly, I might do that.
Did you hear Bill? Now, this is old. I put it in my notes a couple weeks ago when we started this, but it's still funny to me. Did you hear Joe Biden say that poor kids are just as smart as white kids?
Yeah, I did hear that. That was pretty funny.
Now, how fucking stupid can somebody be?
And, the bad thing is, he's going to be, I think he'll be their guy in 2020.
He's probably the most moderate.
I hope and
My
pray.
Democratic friends, that's the one that they say.
I hope and pray it's not Elizabeth Warren.
Yeah. Well, Bernie Sanders is pretty bad, but it'll be one of those three.
Yeah, I think Bernie's just as bad. God, he's just... What doesn't bother me about Bernie is his ideas are so ludicrous and so stupid with his socialist agenda he's got that I don't think he can pass any of this bullshit.
So he might be 4 years of gridlock.
Yeah.
And then he'll die because he's old as fuck.
Yeah, he's old as hell anyway, but I don't think he's gonna... I mean, he's wanting, the same old song and dance. Buy the Democratic vote. Hey, I'm going to give you this, 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 and this. Everything's going to be free. Don't worry about it. I'll take care of you. Yeah, that's all well and good, but we don't have the money for that shit. Where's the money going to come from?
Right. And they may pass some random dumb shit that looks like they're trying to move that way, but like you say, we can't afford that shit.
I saw somewhere where they were interviewing Bernie, and he said he would support a 90% tax on the wealthy. 90%. Tax.
Well, who would even strive to be wealthy?
Exactly. Well, you take away the desire to be wealthy. You take away progress. You take away everything. I mean, you wouldn't want to be rich at that point.
No, because you're doing a lot more risk and a lot more work, and you're going to be making the same as one of your motherfuckers that work for you.
Right. So why innovate?
Just go to work for somebody.
Yeah.
Overseas.
So stupid. Free college, wipe out the student loans, something else.
Even Trump got on that shit, though. He wiped out, I don't know how many they said, student loans for disabled veterans. I mean, he's jumping on that shit, too, just to get votes.
Yeah, it's all about buying votes. I tell you, I don't understand. Maybe somebody can explain it to me. I've never fully researched it, but I don't get the whole Republican-Democrat thing. I just don't understand it. It blows my mind. Like, so we had the election here not too long ago. You can't...
The state elections.
Yeah. So you can't... If you want to win around in Mississippi, you have to run Democrat so you can get the black vote. It's how it normally works.
That's what they say, but this year it was kind of a surprise to a lot of people that thought that.
Yeah, this year it was a little
mixed.
The
Republicans caught up.
Yeah.
In the primaries. Now, in the general election, they can vote either way.
Yeah. Which is the first time that I ever remember that happening, ever. You're not even really voting for Democrats. When you go in, they say, are you Democrat or are you Republican? You say, well, I'm Democrat. So you're voting for Republicans under the Democratic ticket. In most, with my case anyway, but they have to call themselves Democrats. I don't know, it's just a bunch of bullshit. Why are you dividing people like that? Tell me what you stand for. I don't give a shit what you call yourself, and I'll either vote for you or I won't.
Right, so they shouldn't have a primary. They should just put everybody on the ballot, have a vote, and then the top two vote getters run again in November.
Yeah, do something like that. I mean, what's the point? Because when I went in, I'm not a Democrat, obviously, but I had to vote on the Democratic ticket just
for somebody locally running
just for
Democrat.
For one guy. I don't even see the other people that I wanted to vote for on my ticket.
Right, because a lot of people switched to Republican this year.
Yeah, there were several on both sides that I wanted to vote for.
Well, you'll get to vote for them in November.
They treat everybody like they're idiots. And, you have to... I don't need to declare shit to you when I come in here. You know?
And there's a record at the courthouse of which way you declared.
Yeah. It's
there with your name.
It's ridiculous. The whole thing is ridiculous. I can't fathom how that's still a thing in this country. Why it would make sense to do that.
And what if you went in and say, I didn't want to declare either way? Would you get like a random ballot?
I don't know. Like if you say I'm independent or whatever, you probably just have to write shit in, I guess. Is that how it works?
I don't know. I've never heard of anybody that decided to go in there in a primary and say I want to vote independent.
I might try that next election time just to see what happens. Just give it a shot.
That would be interesting.
I don't know, man.
They're going to say, I guarantee you what they're going to say is you have to pick a side.
I'm sure they would. Unless they were like, well, you can do a write-in ballot.
With nothing on it.
Yeah, maybe something like that.
You wasted your time riding over here to the firehouse.
Yeah, you feel like I wasted my time anyway. But our little neck of the woods is totally screwed as far as the political bullshit that's going on. I know of 2 murders right now.
Uh-oh, I knew this was coming.
I'm just saying, it pisses me off. I know of 2 murders right now in our county that are not even
and
being
one was
looked
recent,
at.
allegedly.
Yeah. Oh, both were recent.
Oh, I did. Okay.
Yeah.
See, I don't even know about the second.
Yeah,
one.
there's a new one. Yeah, nothing is going to be said about it. Nothing will be done about it. The shit wasn't even in the paper. That's how bad it is. Everybody's house is getting broken into. It's just drugs are rampant.
Drugs are rampant.
All it is who puts more signs out.
Yeah, who puts more signs out and who comes to your house and sits on the porch.
How much money are you willing to spend to get that office? Because if you're willing to buy $10,000, $15,000 worth of signs and these big signs and shit,
we're way out in the country, by the way.
These people, they don't know anything. They just know, oh, I recognize that name.
Because I saw 40 signs.
I saw that sign. That's how deep their intellectual... Like they were talking about today, I was watching a video on voter suppression. That's the big thing that Black Lives Matter wants to talk about now is voter suppression. Which the only suppression they're talking about is you have to have an ID to vote.
Yeah, see, that one pisses me off bad.
They're literally saying, look, we're too stupid to get IDs.
Right. And that's what pisses me off. That's why I think the Democratic platform on that is the most racist.
Yeah,
the
it's
more
racist.
Because they're saying that black people are too stupid to go get a driver's license or a photo ID. Come on, man.
The black people themselves are saying that. Like the Black Lives Matter group, the Democrats.
I just find that hard to believe that in 2019, any group of people can't get on the internet.
If you can't get an ID.
Somebody will help you get an ID. But who couldn't get an ID? Please tell me.
I don't know. But if you can't, if you're not capable of getting an ID, maybe you don't need to be voting. Maybe you don't know a damn thing about a damn thing. Yeah. If you can't figure out that whole ID thing.
But I don't think there's a group of suppressed black people going, I wish I could vote, but I can't get an ID.
Just can't figure this.
I just don't think that.
Can't figure this whole ID thing out, man. It's got me stumped.
I'm giving black people way more credit than the Democrats are. Because they're perfectly capable of getting a fucking ID.
Oh, hell yeah. They've got IDs. They're not stupid.
They can fucking turn on a computer and get on the internet.
They've all got IDs.
You got to have an ID to cash a check.
But yeah, they were talking about that shit on there today. It's ridiculous, man. Everything is so frustrating to me.
That's what pisses me off.
Yeah, that one got me.
That the Democrats think they're helping people by calling them stupid.
Yeah, it was the head over Black Lives Matter. The New York chapter was the one talking about that. And
so he's like suppressing his own people by saying that to me.
Yes. And he's on a talk show saying this to a black girl.
And the black girl didn't call him out.
Yeah, she called his ass out. Yes, she did. I wish I could remember her name, dude. You've got to watch that girl's show. She has a podcast, and she has I guess her own. I don't know if it's her own show, if it's just a podcast, or if it's separate on her YouTube channel or whatever. Candace Owens is her name.
Yeah, I think
you know that girl.
That. Yeah,
she's slick, dude. She called him out on it. What good's it gonna do? You can't tell them anything. Those Black Lives Matter is fucking ridiculous.
Well, they're getting paid something.
Yeah, he's getting paid.
Somebody's paying those people something.
But I don't understand why. So all of Hollywood is left liberal. All the media is left and liberal.
To what end, though?
Yeah, what are they making money off of pushing the liberal agenda? Or how is that? Obviously, there's a reason for it. I know they want to separate.
Well, they're out of touch, a lot of the richer people.
Well, they want to separate so they can control the votes. It's all it is. They want to control the Democratic seat in the House. They want to control the presidency. I realize there's money to be made in that because you can, lobbyists and you can give them money and stuff. But as far as this, like why are all the schools and colleges and
they're getting free money. That's $1 billion industry or multi-billion-dollar industry. They said last year, like the Ivy League schools, Harvard and Yale, they got like $500 million apiece for fucking federal grants.
So the government
subsidizes. They charge tuition, they charge all this shit, and then the government just hands them $500 million.
Would a Republican government not do the same thing?
Probably would, but that's not the side they chose to back.
Man, it's so damn frustrating, dude. I'm just trying not to watch the news anymore.
You have to.
Yeah, in this case I have to. But if I wasn't doing this podcast,
I'd have been done with that shit.
But putting your head under a rock won't make it go away.
But putting my head above the rock is not going to make it go away either.
No, I can't see it. Like I asked Brian the last time he was here, what the fuck can we do?
There's I can't think of anything that we can do other than what we're doing right here, which is
minuscule at best.
I don't think it's going to affect anything.
No.
I mean, even if we had 1 million listeners, I don't think
it would be
a
million listeners that were already leaning our way of thinking.
Yeah.
We're not going to grab the attention of any Democrats.
No, I'm not going to convert anybody. It's not. Their mind's already made up. They're not going to listen to me and go, oh, shit, maybe it's right.
Like a dude said that day, he said he was going through his Facebook and deleting all his friends that thought the opposite of him because he was tired of getting mad at all the shit they were saying on Facebook. And another friend of ours said, well, don't you think you could say something and change their mind? He said, when's the last time you read a Facebook post and changed your fucking mind?
Yeah.
You're not going
Nobody's going to change their mind.
So all they're doing is appealing to the people that already agree with them and pissing the people off that don't.
But there have been a few that have been converted from crazy liberal to now they're starting to see the light, I think, in my opinion. One of them...
Yeah, but people like Ben Shapiro personally debate these people and switch them. You know what I mean? They're not switching just fucking reading Facebook or...
I'll tell you, one of the interesting ones to me is as a black dude. His name is Brandon Tatum. You know that guy?
No clue.
He was a cop, I think in Michigan and maybe Detroit or whatever. He ended up, maybe it was in Texas, but he played sports for like Arizona State, I think, played football. He was a cop, and then he wanted to go to a Trump rally just to see how it was. It was when Trump was first running,
Right.
And literally he almost, the protesters outside, damn near, they were trying to kill everybody that was going in the door. It was to the point where he was scared, and this is a big dude,
And he was on their side.
Yeah, and he was just going because he wanted to hear what the guy had to say. And so he realized that all the hate was actually going on outside, and once he got on the inside, everybody was nice to him. It wasn't this whole everybody hates black people thing like he had been taught to believe his whole life. And that I won't say all of them, but a lot of them have been taught to believe that shit their entire life. That all white people are out to get them.
Yeah.
They hate them and this and that. He quit and become a cop, or quit being a cop and started doing political talk shows, and he has his own YouTube channel and shit. You should check that guy out. His name is Brandon Tatum. Dude, that dude tells it like it is. I enjoy listening to him. I guess a few are being converted. I don't know. You have to look at it like if you save one life. You're doing something, I guess. It's not going to make an impact one way or the other. There's nothing you can do other than bitch about it. When there's this much money involved in something, you're not going to change it.
Yeah, it's set up now.
Just like,
it's ridiculous.
The government literally has it set up against you to get solar panels on your house. They claim that they give you these
bonuses or subsidies
grants
or something.
And blah, blah, blah. But really, like in Florida, I watched a documentary on this a while back. It was legally illegal. I mean, it was literally illegal to get this shit done, to get off the grid. They made it so, and then if you could do it, they wasn't giving out the permits. But even if you finally could get one, they penalized you so much for it to make it unaffordable, to keep the power companies and the lobbyists happy,
Yeah, because that's who's writing the check.
Same thing with electric cars and shit that we could have done, like I said, 50 years ago. We're so far behind the times just because of money, and they're trying to keep the dependence on oil up. I didn't realize until we started doing this how corrupt this country really is.
It's ridiculous.
It's got to be, if it's not on the very top, it's one of the top 5 most corrupt countries in the world.
I believe it's the top
1.
Yeah.
I do too, probably. And
the other 5 are probably dependent on our corruptness.
Yeah. Man, it's just crazy how shady we really are. Don't get me wrong. I love America. I think it's the greatest country on earth. It's just the people running this shit and the behind the scenes. As far as like, if you just threw a dart at the map, I think you're going to land on good people, hard workers, and
good fathers and good mothers.
But why do they keep putting the same people?
Yeah, on the
like
news.
You look at Joe
shit.
Biden, and he's been in the Congress for 38 years or some shit.
It's all
why do they keep sending the same people up there though?
It's all a fucking sham.
People? I don't understand why average people that you're saying, right, you could throw a dart at America and hit good people in that community. But why do those communities keep sending the same dumbasses to get rich, to get filthy fucking rich?
They're not sending anybody.
You don't think they're voting them in or whatever?
They vote in, like I said earlier, you vote in whoever's got the most money. I mean,
most commercials or name recognition.
Yeah, if they it's just like Coke or Pepsi. Just whoever does the most advertising, because the average Joe is not going to go follow somebody's policies or see how they voted on a certain proposition in 2005. They're just going to be like,
oh yeah, I saw his sign.
I saw that dude hugging his kid on a commercial. He must be pretty cool. I mean, it's fucking insane. It's just, it pisses me off. But it's just money. Everything follows the money. Whoever puts the most into it, they're going to get it. Period.
But why
the most corrupt have the most money because they're backed by the corrupt fucking corporations and all that shit. So they're the ones with money, and they're always going to be in power.
Did you see in Oklahoma, Johnson & Johnson just today lost the lawsuit?
The talcum powder thing? Did you say Johnson & Johnson?
Johnson & Johnson. Oklahoma was suing Johnson & Johnson for being responsible for the opioid epidemic in Oklahoma.
How so?
They, in their advertising practices and how they were pushing doctors to prescribe it more.
I didn't know Johnson & Johnson had anything to do with opioid.
They're like over some pharmaceutical company.
Oh,
they're
no,
like
I didn't
the
know
parent
that.
company of the company or whatever.
I was not aware. I know they're being sued for talcum powder. They knew it gave women cancer and whatnot. But.
Well, just today the judge ruled in the state of Oklahoma's favor and said that Johnson & Johnson was culpable and owed $540 million to the state of Oklahoma.
So the state's going to do what with that money?
Nothing. Nothing. Fucking put it in their mud.
Yeah.
But I'm saying now every state has a precedent. They can sue.
Yeah.
Now they can sue and say that this company was culpable for
I hope they do.
Opioid epidemic.
They knew that shit was addictive. They knew all about it. I watched a documentary the other day on what's the name of that? It was called like thiamide or something. Have you ever heard of that?
No.
And the company still exists over in Germany, but they created this pill that was supposed to be to relieve anxiety and maybe morning sickness from pregnant women.
Yeah.
But it was making all their babies deformed. And there's this whole, like thousands of babies that were born with this shit. Some of them have no arms, no legs, or both.
And nobody's drugged these people out and killed them yet?
No. The company is owned by a private family. They're worth billions over in Germany. But anyway, so they found out that this was happening. And instead of taking it off the market, they expanded the market. They came to America. They gave like 2.5 million pills to doctors across the country for free to give these women in doctors' offices just so they would start prescribing it. Of course, they got a kickback on all that they prescribed. Luckily, there was like one woman in the FDA that told them that she needed more proof that it was safe and all this shit. And they sued her and tried to get her fired and went on and on with back and forth with her, and she never would approve it. But Canada did, and they had this whole there's hundreds of these people, dude. They have their own support groups and everything. They're all across the world now. That kind of shit happens all the time, dude.
See, shit like that pisses me off.
It does me too. Because
I can live with the corruption because they're corrupt. But when you're fucking people up just to get rich,
they knew they knew the whole time, and they're still rich. They the people sued them for, I guess, what you call reparations. Some people got like a little bit of money. Nobody in Canada got a dime. They managed to get away with it in Canada. But I think some people in Germany got some money out of it. That was it. It wasn't a lot of money then. Sad. That kind of shit, dude. It's just... I'll tell you how corrupt it's gotten. I saw the other day where the first law has been broken in space.
I saw that. I saw that today on the news.
Now they're fucking up in space.
That bitch done snooping on her wife's... It was a girl.
Lesbian.
Yeah, looking at her wife's bank account.
Yeah.
From the internet up there or whatever.
I guess they were breaking up or some shit.
She was like throwing her face that she was spending money on this and that.
Yeah. I thought that was funny.
But they were like, whose jurisdiction is it in?
The first law broken in space. I guess it would be cyber
yeah,
division or something. But
wherever the computer was.
I'm sure that's not the first law that's been broken up there.
No, it's just the first one they're going to bring about.
Yeah, probably a lot of sodomy and whatnot going on.
Whoa, you think they're doing them fucking on the space station?
Hell, they're up there for like 6 months at a time.
Yeah, they got to test it out and see if all that shit works.
It's like prison up there, but they have women too. So.
Yeah, but there's some ugly women up there.
Yeah, but who gives a shit? You've been there 6 months.
Yeah, a heartbeat.
Wouldn't really matter. The heartbeat's optional.
So what about your boy trying to buy Greenland? Have you heard anything about that?
Just a little bit. I saw it. I didn't know what it was. I didn't click on it. But I saw Trump wants to buy Greenland. I just assumed that was some kind of joke.
No, I think it's real. And I think it would be a good idea.
So owns...
Denmark owns
Greenland.
And we give Denmark millions of dollars a year just because that's what we do with everybody.
Just for shits and giggles.
Yeah, I guess. We like pump up their defenses and blah, blah, blah. Now they're trying to say, oh, per capita we have just as many deaths in all the wars. But anyway, they're just trying to justify why they don't have to sell us shit. But it wouldn't be unprecedented. They're the ones that sold us the Virgin Islands.
Yeah, I thought I knew it. And, I mean, hell, we bought Alaska from Russia.
Right. And Louisiana Territory from, France? Yeah.
What would be the point of buying Greenland? Why would we need Greenland?
From what I read, China owns all the rights to the rare earth metals in Asia and in Africa. Back in the 90s, they went buying all that shit. And supposedly those rare earth metals, I don't know what metals they are or anything. I didn't read that far. Supposedly those are what's in all the technology. So that's why we're so dependent on China for phones and fucking laptops and shit, because of those rare earth metals. And Greenland is a heavy stock of that's not being mined. I don't know why it's not being mined. I didn't read that.
Probably because it's cold as shit in Greenland.
Yeah, it is. But wouldn't it be cool if we owned Greenland?
Yeah, it would be pretty cool.
It's like half the size of the United States.
I don't know why Denmark would ever sell Greenland, though. It makes no sense. If they have this huge reserve of these rare earth metals, just...
Maybe they're incapable of actually mining them. But I guess they could sell the rights to us and let us mine them.
Or, I mean, you could let anybody mine it. You don't even have to sell the rights to the minerals. You could
just
bring
hire somebody to mine.
Yeah, I mean, you could just bring in Bechtel or one of those big conglomerates that are terrible companies, but you could call...
That's who we would have doing it.
Yeah, you could just get somebody like that to come in and mine it. I think we need to look into that a little bit more. Seems strange to me. That's why when I saw it, I thought it was a joke, but...
I think it'd be cool to buy, though. I'm gonna side with Trump on this.
Oh, yeah, it'd be cool to buy.
I think we should buy more of that sort of shit.
I don't see how in the hell we can buy anything.
He offered him like $1.1 trillion or something.
From where?
I don't know.
We have the biggest...
I guess we'll borrow it from China.
We have the biggest debt of anybody. We're going to borrow from China to buy shit out from under them. So, it's... something doesn't make sense about that. But
who do we owe our national debt to? That's what I don't understand.
I think a lot of it's China. I think there's a huge majority of it that we own to China.
But I don't understand. Why don't we just say, well, come get it, motherfuckers?
Or why they keep loaning us money. I don't know about you, but if I borrow, $600 and I don't pay it back, probably not going to get a loan next time I go up there.
No.
But it's like, it never ends. And what kills me about America is you always hear, oh, we're the baddest motherfuckers on the planet. We're the biggest economy. We're the wealthiest.
But we're trillions of dollars in debt to somebody.
Yeah, we owe more than anybody. To me, that would be like, you wonder why people don't like us. That would be like if you worked hard your whole life, you saved up $60,000. I came to your house. I said, Rizzo, I need $60,000 from you. You said, look, man, that's all I got in the world. I've been working for this my whole life. I said, look, just let me have it and I'll get it back to you. You give me the $60,000. I go out and buy a brand new Corvette. And then I ride by your house every day going, I got the baddest fucking car on the planet, bitch. You gonna give me that money? Fuck no, I'm not giving you that money.
Right,
but I got the baddest car there is. I'm bragging about my car. You bought the motherfucker. I can see why people don't like us. That would piss me off
because they showed like a ticker of the national debt. And it's just climbing. Who do we owe, and how do they let us get that far in debt?
Yeah. And have we ever paid them back?
I don't know.
Is that a thing we do?
Are we sending them a check every month?
I don't know. I'm not sure how the whole national debt thing works. I don't know if that's...
Maybe somebody can explain it to me.
If it's our own debt. I know we owe some of it to China for sure. And I'm sure we owe other countries.
But how come every time there's a national disaster in the world, we're sending millions of dollars over there?
Yeah.
Or like I just said, they said that we send Denmark, just a random-ass Denmark, millions of dollars a year.
Maybe that's...
Are we borrowing money to give it away?
Maybe that's what we owe them. Maybe that's just...
Maybe Denmark loaned us some money.
Yeah, maybe that's our monthly bill or whatever. I don't know how that works. I
don't understand how we borrow money or go in debt to save somebody else. That's what throws me off.
Yeah, I don't understand that either. And so it may be just debt that we're incurring upon ourselves.
Right, we're just writing checks and saying we'll back it up some other way.
Yeah, because obviously we're not backed by the gold standard anymore.
No.
So all the money we used to have. For those of you that don't know, I'm sure most of you do, but all the wealth that this country had was backed by gold, the gold standard. That's not the case anymore. At one point, they made it illegal for you to own any gold. You had to bring all your gold and silver and exchange it. You had to carry it all to the government.
What about my herringbone chain?
Yeah, that shit would not work. You had to bring it all in and exchange it for paper currency or whatever. And the paper currency is not federal at all. It's just a company run by the Rothschilds. The Federal Reserve is just like people say, it's as federal as Federal Express is. They just print money and nobody checks on them.
Raising lower interest rates.
Nobody audits them. Nobody does shit. They just do whatever they want to do. They control, the Federal Reserve controls the whole world economy by how much they want to print and not print. If nobody's checking on them, if you can't audit them, what's stopping them from printing $5 trillion for Jeffrey Epstein and putting it in their whole pedophile satanic bullshit? Nothing.
Okay, so my homework this week is I'm going to figure out this debt thing. I'm going to figure out where it's going or who we owe, how they know how much money to make. Like the Treasury Department makes the money, but you're saying the Fed dictates...
The Treasury Department doesn't make the money.
They didn't print the money anymore?
No. Nothing to do with the government does money.
Oh. I thought the Treasury Department printed the dollars.
Not that I'm aware of. The Federal Reserve prints the money.
Okay.
Now, if the Treasury does... that sounds familiar, that the Treasury... If they do it, they're not doing it under U.S. government control. They're doing it for the Federal Reserve.
So the Fed is telling them how much money to print.
Right. And the Federal Reserve is just like AT&T. It's just a regular ass company.
I did read that.
The last time I think Trump mentioned wanting to audit the Federal Reserve.
Yeah, he's on the Fed hard these last couple of months because he wants them to cut rates to keep the economy going or something. I don't understand all that either.
JFK wanted to audit the Reserve and
it turned out bad for JFK.
Yeah, it didn't go well. Anytime you try to do that shit, it doesn't go well. Before 9/11, they were trying to audit the Reserve. There was like $2.5 trillion come up missing, so they were trying to figure it out. And then that's when Building 7 went down, and the one little office in the Pentagon that held that information went down. All that shit. Basically, they're untouchable, and everybody knows they can fuck the world at will.
Well, I can't speak proficiently on this, but I guarantee you I'm going to read.
Check it out. It's insane. It's sad. It all started from the Rothschilds, and they got in with, several of the Rockefellers and shit like that over here. But before that, in England, they started up this whole world banking system, which is the New World Order or the Illuminati. All that shit.
Now you're going too far.
That's true. The Rothschilds.
That's true, he says.
It is. The Rothschilds control world banks.
Well, now I did read, or I've listened to a show or
JP
something.
Morgan, all that shit.
Right, about how the Rothschilds made their money back when Napoleon was over France. They loaned money to both sides to fight that war.
Right.
And they ended up getting a bunch of land and getting a bunch of money from both sides.
Yeah, they financed both sides of one war.
And they financed both sides of every war since.
And that's
what I read.
Yeah, that's how they're unstoppable. They took that money that they had been making since Napoleonic times or whatever. They brought that, which was I guess the New Deal. When they brought it to America, they basically ran up all the hype
on Wall Street and with all the banks, what they did was went out and told everybody that the banks were going to crash. And
was this in the 20s or after that?
I think it was in the late 20s, early 30s.
So when the Great Depression hit?
Right. Their thing was they spread the word that the banks are all about to go down.
Because we don't have enough gold to cover.
I don't know if that was their reason or not.
I don't know. I'm just asking.
Yeah, I don't think that was the reason. It was something else. But either way, they created a frantic where everybody went to the bank to try to get their money out, which you can't do that.
No. The banks here in town only keep like $40,000 cash.
So the banks are not going to have all that money. So if everybody comes at one time and wants their money back, they're screwed. And so that's what they did. And all these bankers went under because they had money here and there and had it tied up.
That's how they paid
invest in it. So they didn't have people's money, so the banks went under. And then the Rothschilds came and bought up all the banks for pennies on the dollar. And then they either restructured them for them or they just did away with them, which is Citibank, all that shit. Bank of America, I think, is one of them. JP Morgan, Chase, all that shit is Illuminati. That's exactly what it is. I mean, that's how it was founded. That's the money that the Illuminati was founded on. The New World Order you hear about is them enacting their plan, the Illuminati enacting their world banking plan. It's all it is a way to control the whole world. So they're trying to now they've got all the money in the world controlled. They're trying to get all the governments underneath them, which is why you see all these presidents talking about a new world order and this and that. It's all one shady ass conspiracy, dude. It's the more you look into it, the less crazy it sounds. And
well, it sounds pretty crazy to me.
Yeah,
I'm just saying I haven't read into all of that shit, but
actually,
it's all tying into our national debt somehow.
Yeah, I want to see. I think our national debt's what? It's like 28 trillion or something like that. I'm not
astronomical.
Sure. It's something, unattainable. There's no way to pay that back. It's not going to happen. I don't see it unless you print more money. And when you do that, it ain't worth shit.
Right. You have to have a wheelbarrow to cash your check.
Yeah.
Ain't that how Nazi Germany was at the end there?
And Russia. Before you could cash your check and get to the store, bread was already cost 10 times more than it did when you cashed your check. That's what you end up running into. And I think it's going to happen. I think that's why you're seeing the rise of Bitcoin and all that shit, is people trying to get away from that world banking fucking nightmare. I saw the other day where Facebook's trying to get their own currency.
Yeah, I think we've talked about that.
I don't remember if we did. Either way, that's fucked up. That's giving them, they've already got way too much power. And if Facebook, yeah.
And Google and all of them.
Yeah. Facebook's owned by Google. They got so much power. I think they're probably trying to take over the world or something. I don't know what the fuck they're trying to do. But It's not about money anymore.
It can't be.
No. They've got all the money they could ever want.
When you start inventing money, you've got too much money.
Yeah. I don't know, man. It's a sad situation. Like you were talking about the deal in Hong Kong. Tell me what's going on in Hong Kong right now.
Okay, so I don't know when, but England had Hong Kong as a territory. And this was in the last 20 years. So it's not like an old-timey thing. So they decided to give rule back to China for Hong Kong. And then China said it was such booming industry, and I don't want to say country, but like city, that they were going to let them run themselves. And I guess they were just skimming off the top like a mafia family or something. But now China's saying, no, y'all got too much freedoms, blah, blah, blah. We want more, we want this and that. So the Hong Kong people are begging the world and begging America mainly to come help them stay democratic, where they can elect their own officials.
See, I never even knew that. I didn't know that Hong Kong was a territory of England.
Yes.
I had no idea of that.
And it's been since the 90s that England owned them.
I wouldn't have thought China would have went for that shit.
I don't know why they let them do that.
And then why would you give it back?
I guess the same reason we gave back the Panama Canal. Just tired of fucking.
That's one of the.
I know, but
that's like
it doesn't make any sense. But
strongest economy in the world.
Right. Exactly. But
we don't want any part of this.
Panama Canal back?
We're going to give this back to you. We don't want this anymore. That doesn't make sense right there. But either way, if Hong Kong is wanting America to get involved, that's a big flag.
They're protesting now, and China's sending in military or police or whatever they want to call them. It's all the same, I guess. And they're going to force them to be under Chinese rule. It just seems weird to me that we can step in any third world country and tell them they have to have elections and blah, blah, blah. But when a city or whatever you want to call Hong Kong is begging us to help them, we won't even fucking say a word. It's not even on the news.
Because you will get your ass whooped if you go fucking with China. You do not want to fuck with China.
There's ways to fight that's not a straight up fist fight.
But they invented this shit that we're going to use to fight them.
You still gotta fight. If you're gonna pump yourself up as the chivalrous guy in all of the world, and that you're gonna help and fund all of this shit all over the world, when people are begging you to help them, you gotta fucking help them.
Like that, you remember that movie, Trey Parker and whatever did South Park, Team America, World Police?
Yeah.
Did you ever see that cartoon movie?
I never saw that.
Basically, it's talking about how we're, the police of the world.
Right. If we're going to claim to be the police of the world, when somebody's begging us to help them, we got to help them or try to help them. And maybe that's what the trade war that Trump's doing with China now is trying to do, is help them. I don't know. We have to do something if we're going to stick our chests out and be the baddest summitches on the world.
I don't think we need to be fucking with China.
But I don't think we need to be fucking with a lot of places we fuck with.
No, I don't either. I don't see why we fuck with half the stuff we do.
And if we fucking with all of that, then by rule, we should have to fuck with China.
Yeah, but we make the rules.
I'm saying either don't fuck with nobody.
We don't. We don't do shit.
No, we don't do anything. But either don't fuck with nobody or do it especially when they're begging you to help.
Even the president. That's a temporary job, man. That's a temporary office. The people that are really in power were there before he got there. They'll be after he's gone. And they're the ones that's really running shit. The CIA and all that shit is what really runs the world. They're the ones that are tied in with all this shit. The world banking shit, the damn CIA, running coke out of, Colombia and all that shit. They're the ones that really control America, not Trump. Trump's trying. I think he's the only one that's tried in a long time, which is why he's getting all the shit that he's getting, because he's actually trying to buck the system a little bit. They're having a fucking fit. That's why Hollywood everybody out there is crying and bitching and moaning, and all the CNN and everybody's, oh God, I can't believe this is happening. We thought, they thought they had Hillary in there for sure, and it actually didn't work for some reason. I don't know how in the hell it didn't work, but it didn't, and now they're having a fucking...
Maybe they were bored and said, let's let this fucker win and see what happens.
They're having a hissy fit about it now, though. You need to seriously check in on the World Bank and all that shit.
The debt. And I mainly want to know what the debt is and why we owe, or who we owe.
It would not surprise me if we didn't know at all. Not all of it, but a large majority of it to the Rothschilds and shit like that. That's why J.P. Morgan, all that shit got bailouts.
Yeah.
They can do whatever they want. Oh, we fucked up. Oh, well, here's some money. You made the shit anyway. It's
your money.
Your money. You're the one that printed the bullshit that's not backed by anything at all. And apparently, we're not going to repay our debts anyway. So what makes the dollar worth a shit?
Just saying it is, I guess.
The faith that it is worth something. But it's really not worth the fucking cotton it's printed on. It's really not. Which is why, the yen or whatever is eventually going to take it over. And once the dollar falls, we're really fucked in. But so we'll make that a thing. I'll look into it too.
We'll both look into it. Maybe we'll talk about that. But I'm at least going to bring it back up next week.
We'll look into the debt and who we owe, how we go about paying it. I would like to know why where we get it in the first place. Why did we get it? Let's check into that.
Okay.
It'd probably be harder to look into than you think. I wouldn't imagine it's very cut and dry.
No, it's probably confusing as fuck. But surely there's somebody out there that'll tell us, kind of explain it to us.
There's probably people listening right now that go, oh, you dumbass, that's this. You fuckers don't know anything.
Fucking idiots.
But I don't know.
Well, fuck you, smartasses.
I'll admit it. I don't know. I do know that a lot of that information that I was talking about earlier, and say what you want about the guy, but Alex Jones had a documentary the first time I think it might have been called The Obama Deception. One of them was called The Obama Deception. He done several documentaries, and one of them did nothing but explain how the global banking system got started and how it affects us now and their plan to take over the world, all that shit. And it was really interesting. I wish I knew the name of it. I would put it in a link or some shit like a real podcast would do.
Yeah,
but
we're not going to do that.
Just
Google it, motherfucker.
Google Alex Jones documentary and global banking. It'll come up, whatever it is.
Before we end the show, I have a personal thing I want to discuss.
Personal. Okay.
Okay. What they call it, spoiler alert.
Yeah.
And this is going to sound crazy. I just want to get it off my chest. It's been driving me crazy. The fucking Deadwood.
Oh, dear God.
Okay, I'd seen the first 2 seasons years ago and thought it was a really good show. So I was like, I'm going to go back and watch it.
He's been bitching about this Deadwood show forever.
Man, it fucked me up for television. I won't even hardly watch TV anymore.
That shit was like, how old is that show? What year?
12 years ago?
12 years ago. I don't think you have to spoiler alert it anymore.
But I never saw the 3rd season.
Okay.
And I heard there was a movie out that came out this year in May. So I was like, well, I want to watch the movie, but I'm going to go back and watch all the episodes. Because I'd seen the first 2 seasons, but I never watched the 3rd season.
I remember watching a little bit of it. I remember it being good, but...
Man, it was a fucking kick-ass show.
But I just never watched it all.
So I watched the first 2 seasons. I was like, man, this motherfucker was good. I remember it right. And I watched the 3rd season, and they built up, and they had all this shit ready for it. And some cocksucker in HBO decided, we're not going to do a 4th season. I wish to God I could find who that was. I would hit that son of a bitch in the head with a hammer. Man.
So it's like a cliffhanger.
Cliffhanger is a son of a bitch. You know how a show ends on a season?
Your volume level is crazy high.
Okay.
You're so excited about this. You make me want to watch it now.
No, I'm telling you, do not watch it. Because there's no fucking end. It's like getting a hard on and can't do nothing with it.
Well, that's like HBO did with Sopranos.
Did you ever watch? At least they ended the Sopranos. At least they ended it.
No, they didn't. It just went black.
Yeah.
Remember?
Yeah.
It didn't really end. It was just,
They didn't build it up. I'm talking about in the town of Deadwood, they had the Pinkertons on one side and the city folks on the other side, and they had done brought in hired guns, and they mentioned a midget in the hired guns. Never even showed the fucking midget.
Damn.
I was picturing like Tyrion and
You were shorted a midget.
Yeah, I was shorted a midget. They never even got to war. One son of a bitch got killed, and I didn't really care for him anyway. But they never killed or fought or did anything. I was like, you've got to be fucking with it. There's got to be a season 4.
But there wasn't.
There was no season 4.
You know, I thought that show had good ratings, too. Like, why would they cancel it?
I'm telling you, if you've never saw Deadwood, do not watch it. Do not watch it.
Well, I'm not going to watch it now.
Oh, my God.
Sure. But I remember liking it. I
loved it.
You know, when it came out.
I mean, my wife was like, will you please stop watching that? I was like, no, I got to watch one more episode. At the end, nothing. And then they made a movie, and I was like, okay, the movie's going to kick ass. It's going to wrap all this shit up. It was like a reunion 10 years later, and they really barely even brought up the shit that was going on.
That's like, do you ever seen that show Longmire?
I've seen this.
That's a badass show.
I've never watched the show.
So that show was on some network. I'm not sure. I don't remember which network it was on. It was a really good show, and then it got canceled. And then 2 or 3 years later, Netflix bought the rights to it and started making new episodes themselves.
They saved it.
Yeah, but your show's gone. It's
gone. It's over.
Yeah, that was 12 years ago. That shit's over.
I mean, I was physically ill.
You can hang that shit up.
Sick.
So it was going to be like
season ended.
It was going to be a big shootout.
Yeah, a big war.
Like a huge.
Huge. They built it up to be this huge thing.
And then
the Pinkertons killed one of the town guys. Just one. And they brought him in town. They got it all lined up. Al Swearingen has manipulated this shit down the way he wanted. Man, it was so awesome. And then nothing. Nothing. I can't say. I can't even think of anything to equate the disappointment to.
I'm sure that was talked about a lot back in the day, huh? I'm sure everybody was pissed about it. I
wouldn't have watched the song. Yeah. Everybody I talked to was like, man, that's a kick-ass show. Nobody ever mentioned how shitty the ending was. Maybe they never made it to the end, or they assumed there was a 4th season. They just hadn't seen it.
Terrible.
But my God, it was horrible.
There's a lot of shows that do that. I'll tell you what, Alf, the show Alf.
I don't know about Alf. I don't remember it. I mean, I remember it, but...
Look, I liked Alf. That show, by the way, still holds up. That's still a funny-ass show. But I loved it when I was a kid. But I went back and watched the final episode of Alf.
Jesus. I guess they just decided to randomly cut it short and didn't plan it out or whatever. It's been a while since I watched it, but I went back and watched it on Netflix or Hulu or something. The damn scientist or whatever find Alf, they catch him, and they fucking take him. And
turn him into a lab rat?
Yeah, that was the end of it. They just like came and kidnapped him, and the show went off. It was
really? So
yeah.
Alf could be alive still in a test somewhere?
No, he's been gutted by now. But that has
I
nothing
can
to do
honestly say I don't remember how Alf ended.
Two ends of the spectrum, but I'll do that on a lot of shows. Like if I can find them on Hulu or something, I'll go back and just watch the final episode just to see how they wrap. Yeah, see how they wrap shit up.
Well, they didn't wrap nothing up. I mean, I would have been fine with them killing everybody. Deadwood is horrible. Well, but God, it was such a good show.
Well, I won't waste my time on it.
Okay. Well, I get that off my chest. Maybe I'll feel better.
I hope so. Because I don't remember anything about it, to be honest with you. I just remember it was a Western. Yeah. And I remember liking it. But as far as I'm that way about a lot of shows, that like that damn show that everybody loved, Breaking Bad. Yeah. I watched
some of it, then it got too far-fetched for me.
It was still good when I quit watching it. There's just so many shows out there now that I just can't. I lose interest. I can't watch any of them to completion anymore.
Well, don't watch Deadwood.
I won't.
Well, anyway. I guess that about wraps it up, huh?
Yeah.
This was kind of a just shoot the shit show.
Yeah, we had no direction to follow. The main thing I want to talk about was Epstein, and I think we covered that.
Yeah, but no more Epstein. I'm burnt out on Epstein. Unless something revolutionary takes place.
If something new comes up, but it's made me so damn mad I don't want to talk about the motherfucker. But if he is dead, he's without a doubt burning in hell, and I hope everybody on his list is gonna burn with him at some point.
Damn. You don't want to try to save their soul?
No, fuck them all.
Fuck them all. Okay.
All right.
Well, thanks for listening.
Yeah.
Come back next week. Next week, I'm holding him to it. Next week, Stop the Insanity.
Holding me to it like I'm the fucking bad guy here. All right.
All right. Appreciate it.